Namaste Vidya, Kushri. I JVWU Muskan Kumari from the Department of Science and Technology, and I am working here as a assistant professor in JVWU University and the Faculty of Education and Management. So today's your session is just a characterizing of distributed computing, and just before this session, I just discussed about the basic introduction towards the your distributed computing, what are the challenging factors in the distributed computing, what is the advantages of the distributed computing, isn't it clear? So today's session is just want to discussing regarding the paradigm of the distributed computing. So to make it easy understanding to you, I just want to share the word files which is created by me. I'm just going to share that once. Okay, so please just wait forward. Yes, this one is the uh, paradigm of parallel computing. Okay, so now in bunch framework, what is the parallel computing and the paradigm of the parallel computing? Okay. A bunch of framework design gathering processes 36 center for every hub on account of the chimney are coordinated into the hundreds and thousands of the hub. Suppose you just think one thing that was the gathering of the processor. What is the meaning of this gathering of the processor and the bunch of framework design? So this is just like in a network. You are distribute the multiple nodes in a particular network, isn't it? So each network has their own processor. So that is the what gathering of the processors and the frameworks designing. Okay, and they all are coordinated with the multiples and thousands of the hub, which is used for the communication between each another systems, inside which CPU convey means of the shared memory. CPU is working like the shared memory. Hubs are interconnected components, networking components, which are used to for passing the messages or establishing the communication between the two nodes or the two computers, isn't it? So hubs are interconnected with the corresponding texture that is coordinated and organizations, and equal projects are gathering of CPU at least one hubs, isn't it? So now the what is the distance? So, to misuse the force of a bunch PC, equal projects should guide various procedures to tackle the various pieces of the calculation at the same time, that they can tackle or handles the working of the all the systems at the same time. Okay? And to be productive, it means to get the resultant output. Each equal program or nodes should be intended at a particular frameworks for the engineering and the framework engineering. It additionally should be customized to run on the framework that are very in quality of the CPU associated by the shared memory. Okay, and what and the attributes that corresponding systems for the messages passing. So to turn into a capable client of this imaging registering framework, you need to see every one of the three of these parts of equal figuring and how they identify with one another with first. Now the basic designing of the framework and equipments. So client code customized to the PC equipment. Client code which is customized towards the PC equipment. So framework programming and administrations that empowers the clients to adjust their code in the different stages. So there are numerous motivations to turn into the capable client. Capable client is what? The clients who has ability take out the resultant outputs, isn't it, according to the input of these frameworks and utilize their assist. One is that you utilize the PC time that you get your own resolutions or the outputs, isn't it? So equal programming ideal models. First is equal programming standard include two issues. First, productive utilization of CPU in one cycle, and second one be correspondence between hub to help equal cycle running on the various hubs and trading commonly subordinate information. Clear? Now, so what? An equal program generally compromise the bunch of the cycles. Cycles is what your working program. You have distributed that in the multiple subtasks and you are complete that cycles. Isn't it to do complete one work or one task? Informations with another by conveying other shared memory and organization interconnected to the texture. So each equal projects that immediate various CPU to speak with one another by means of the shared memory and regularly utilize the OpenMP interface. The free task running on the numerous CPUs inside the hub of all the strings. That is the technique. So this is all about requiring the all the things. Two programming language ideal languages is that first one is the strings, the messages which you want to pass, and the messages passing is the second. So an express debug, I have just told you about the message passing and the strings. So there are two different ways to complete the parallelism in the processing. First one is utilize various CPU hub to execute the portion of interaction. In the portion, the nodes which you have to interrupt it for the execution of their inputs to get the resulting outputs. And for instances, you can partitions a circle into four more models circle and run them all the while on discrete CPUs. This is called the stringing and every CPU measures a string. This is the thing. Okay. The other world view is to isolate calculations into the various cycles. This make every one of the cycles rely upon a similar informations. The reliance expects cycles to message passes to one another correspondence to that medium in the sense communication medium at the point when measures on various hubs trade information with one another is called that message passing. And the message passing term is very simple that you can use various things to for passing the message. One will be your like the pipelining and various methods which is used for the passing the messages towards one node to the another node. Okay, so just so now just I want to also explain this parallel computing with one example so you can easily understand that the parallel is not a parallel computing like the suppose uh, example of the people is standing in a queue waiting for movie tickets and there is only one cashier, isn't it? Suppose there are the large number of the people who is in the queue in the queue stage and there is one cashier. Uh, Cashier is giving ticket one by one. This is the possibility only that the cashier will give that each members who are in the queue they will give the ticket them by one by one. One by one complexity of this situation increases when there are two queues, isn't it? Suppose there are two queues and there are only one cashier, so the complexity is increases here. That suppose in the another queue, the in the another queue, all the persons who are in the waiting states, they will have to wait till the first queue isn't completed. Clear? So here you can see that the complexity is increases. There are two queue and only one cashier. So in short serial computing, what you will do in this problems, the statement is broken into the discrete instruction. That you are distribute these problems into the discrete instructions. Then the instructions are executed one by one, and only one instruction is executed at a moment of the time. Okay, so this is the basic aim. And parallel computing is a basic definitions you can also say like that. This is the use of multiple processing elements simultaneously and for solving the any problems. You are using the multiple processor to solve a complex problems at the same time. Okay, and the problems are broken down into the instructions form, so you can easily solve out one by one instructions at a time. And this is very less in complexity, and which will apply to your work is working at the same time, isn't it? What will be the advantage of this paradigm of parallel computing? Parallel computing over serial computing are as follows. It saves the time and money, and as many resources working together will reduce the time and the cut potential costs, isn't it? This is clear. This is a very valid point. Second one, it can be impractical to solve larger problems and on the serial computing, isn't it? It can take advantage of non-local resources when the local resources are finite. And serial computing wastes the potential computing power. The parallel computing makes better work for the hardware. This is the bad things. Okay, so now in the next session, I will discuss the next topic. The next topic will be the SISD, how you are passing these instructions which you have distributed a complex task into the multiple instructions format. So how you can execute this ones, isn't it? So you can read these topics by very various online sites, weeks for weeks tutorial points, isn't it? And the Gate Vidyalaya also suppose some students who want to take the preparation for the games, so they can also take the some documents or contents from the Gate site, online sites, and also take this some contents of this uh, parallel and distributed computing from the some standard book like the introduction to the parallel computing like Pearson books, isn't it clear? Okay, so this session is just all about routine. Thank you.